Pay us what you owe us. That is what the WNBA has been screaming and even wearing t-shirts about it for the last year or so. And I'm just curious, ladies, what does the NBA actually owe you? What does anyone actually owe you? Okay. You've lost $50 million a year for the last 30 years, and you still want more pay and still want to share in the revenues. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 reasons why the NBA should stop funding the WNBA. And oh yeah, this is a rant video, but it's time. Okay, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys and the women that want to understand them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification button because I'm dropping videos every week. Woo! Okay, let's get into this video. I was hesitant to do a video on this because I watch the news and I don't want to have news kind of come into this channel and other drama that might be going on out there in the world. But this is very important for the male viewers specifically. Why this is important is because you're going to go out on dates and you're going to have conversations with women, and women are going to bring this up. They're going to bring up the WNBA and they're going to maybe even ask you, what do you think? Okay. So if you have an opinion on it, at least make it an educated opinion. And I'm going to get into this video. It's probably going to be a longer video on why the NBA, 5 reasons specifically on why the NBA should stop funding the WNBA. In case you're not aware, yes, the NBA has been funding the WNBA for 30 years, and yet the women are ungrateful. They keep complaining, and they have not made any money for 30 years, but they still want more money, still want more revenues. And here's the thing, ladies, you want equality? Well, then equality means equal risk and no guaranteed outcomes, just like the men, okay? Fun fact, the NBA didn't make any money for its first 30 years in existence. Fun fact, that's true. Here's the most interesting part. It took another 30 years, so 60 years in total. After the first 30 years, the NBA started actually making money as a league. So imagine 60 years now in total before the players got 50% of the revenues, okay? That's 60 years of effort and proving themselves before they got any share of the revenues, all right? And here the WNBA has the audacity to not only ask for more money, but also ask for a share in the revenues. And I'm going to get into some specifics on this when they haven't made any money yet. The league has been bleeding money every single year. Okay, so listen to this. The WNBA was offered from their max $250,000 salary to a $1 million max salary, okay? This is one of the proposals that the NBA gave to the WNBA. The NBA also said, look, okay, I know you want to share in the revenues, but we'll give you 50% of the net revenues, okay? That's after expenses. And the WNBA kicked it away, right? The WNBA instead wants to have, one of the things they want to have is 30% of the gross revenue. That's top line, okay? Despite losing $50 million a year, and even if the NBA considered it, that would mean the NBA would be losing $700 million, I believe, per year if they gave them 30% of the gross revenues, okay? Gross is without expenses. Net is after expenses. So it's comical at this point, but I have to do this video because this is a classic example of women today, and especially feminists, that they want equality, but they don't want the equal risks or consequences with equality, okay? They keep claiming, oh, well, we want to be paid what the men are being paid. Excuse me, the men have earned their spot. They have earned it over 60 years and more before they got the 50% revenue. And I'm just calling the spade a spade, man. The WNBA is shitty fucking basketball. It is garbage. You know how it's garbage? Well, you just look at it, okay? Women don't dunk. They can't dunk. They're not as agile and as strong as the men are. The men basketball players are the best of the best, okay? The women basketball players, this is how bad the WNBA is, just calling the spade a spade. They could not beat a high school champion. The champion WNBA team could not beat a champion high school boys team. That's how bad the WNBA is. That's how mismatched the talent is. And yet, the WNBA has the audacity of asking for the same type of money that these men are making. And not only that, okay, if people were actually watching it, without Caitlin Clark, no one showing up to games. Very few people. They lost 65% of their attendance in 2025 after Caitlin Clark was out with injuries. It's all her. It's all her driving the demand, driving the viewership. And without her, the WNBA can't even stand on its own. So, all that being said, okay, this is why the reasons why, the 5 reasons, I'm going to jump in this right now, the 5 reasons why the NBA should stop funding the WNBA, okay? Number 1, it violates the equality argument. If the claim is equal pay and equal respect, then the league must stand on its own economics, okay? Constant subsidies undermine this argument of equality. If you cannot demand market equality when you're relying on external funding, okay? This drives me absolute crazy. They want equality, but they don't want the consequences or the accountability that comes with that. Number 2, it incentivizes entitlement, not growth, if the NBA continues to fund the WNBA. Well, the WNBA, on this note, gets guaranteed financial backing, but this financial backing removes the pressure to improve their marketing, improve fan engagement. Like maybe because fans want to see dunking, maybe they lower the nets because the women are not dunking. And that's what fans want to see. So maybe they lower the nets. A little controversial, but it would encourage more fan engagement, right? The WNBA would force the WNBA to build an organic demand, not inflated demand, and what the media wants you to believe that, record attendance. No, that's not happening. No one's watching these games, okay? They would have to make hard business decisions if they were not being funded by the NBA anymore. Also, real businesses survive by earning customers, not by leverage. And that's what's happening when the NBA continues to fund this failing league. It's just going to nothing, and the WNBA is not growing on their own, and that's what they need to do. Number 3, by the NBA continuing to fund the WNBA, negotiations are fundamentally dishonest. You end up with owners funding losses, which is continued to happen after 30 years. Players are negotiating as if profits exist like a typical union. Okay, that's all I see here is union mentality. The company's not making money, the company's losing money, and yet the employees want to be paid more and want more benefits. Okay, how does that work? The public narratives are disconnected from financial reality. You get the media all about, how great the WNBA. The reality is it sucks. The basketball sucks. And compared to the NBA, okay, even boys high school basketball is better than the WNBA. And this disconnect from reality, it blows my mind. And it's not collective bargaining. That they're basically asking for pay based on merit and not performance, okay? That drives me crazy. Number 4, it politicizes the NBA. The NBA is now getting dragged into gender pay debates, okay? Cultural activism, PR battles, instead of basketball performance, right? And this is actually a brand risk for the NBA, and there's no upside. And the last point is full independence. This is why the NBA should stop funding the WNBA, because the WNBA could run its own books, negotiate its own sponsors and media deals. They can live or die by its own audience, okay? It's a sink or swim based on actual demand, like every other company out there. It's the sink or swim based on demand. And if the product's good enough, investors and audiences will step in and help out. But if not, then we have our answer, and that is the WNBA was never meant to exist. And in the meantime, we are waiting to see what's going to happen at the time of publishing this video. It is January 13th. And it's just, I want to hear from you guys in the comments, just straight up. Should the NBA stop funding the WNBA? Okay. And if you don't think it should stop funding the WNBA, then all right, I want to hear that too. But point to some facts on why it should continue funding this mess. All right. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you listening to my rant. See you next time.